In this video, we are going to be exploring the powerful functionality of Layout Builder. Before we begin, make sure that you have created the waterfall listing display view mode and it is enabled on the waterfall content type. Refer to a previous video on how to do this. The first thing that we need to do to work with the Layout Builder functionality is we need to enable the modules for it. So in the admin toolbar, click on Extend. And a quick way to find the needed modules is just to filter by layout. And you're going to want to enable the core modules of Layout Builder and Layout Discovery. Install those two modules. Fantastic. Now let's use the Layout Builder. The first thing that we need to do is we need to enable the Layout Builder functionality on our waterfall content type. So to do that, visit Structure, Content Types, Waterfall, and then click on Manage Display. Again, we see that we have three view modes active at this time on the waterfall content type, which is Default, Teaser, and our new waterfall listing display. So click on Waterfall Listing Display. And we need to scroll down to the bottom, and there's going to be a new option here called Layout Options, and make sure to check Use Layout Builder, and then click Save. So notice how the fields have all disappeared and only a Manage Layout button appears. For comparison, if we look at the teaser view mode, we'll see that we do still have the field option, and that's because it's not using the Layout Builder. So go back to the waterfall listing display, and let's click on Manage Layout. Now the exact thing that you see may vary depending upon the version of Drupal that you are using. Layout Builder is a fast-moving initiative with Drupal, and so there may be some slight differences. But overall, the essence of what I'm showing here will still be valid. So what we're looking at is we're looking at the layout of this display. And by default, Drupal shows content preview, which gives you kind of placeholder text and placeholder images. I personally prefer not to. It's quicker and cleaner for me to work without a preview. So I've unchecked Show Content Preview. And now there's different sections you can add, and there's different blocks that you can add to those different sections. But really what I want to do is I want to create a section with 2 columns, and then underneath that section, a full column. So it looks like I'm going to have to click this X here to get rid of the existing section that came default. And it says, are you sure you want to remove here on this right-hand sidebar? I'll click Remove. And now I'm pretty much starting with a blank slate. And I'm going to click Add Section. And like I said, I want to have a 2-column section. And just to start with, I'll have the columns 50%, 50%. Add sections. So here we can see section 1. I have the ability to add block and add block. And I also have the ability to add another section, which I will. And this time it's just going to be a 1-column section. All right, so now that we've added section 1, which is 2 columns, and it's 50%, 50% width, and we've also have section 2, which is 1 column, 100% width. In the left-hand block of section 1, let's click on Add Block, and let's add the waterfall image. Click Add Block, filter for image, and you'll see the content field, waterfall image appears. Click on that. We don't need to display the title for the image. And we also do not need to display the label of the image. So I'm going to select that to hidden. And the formatter is image. And for now, let's choose an existing image style of the default of medium. We'll come back and change this later in another video. For link the image to, change link image to content. We want users to be able to click on the image, which takes them to the full waterfall content. So once again, for the waterfall image, we are hiding its label. The formatter is image, the image style is medium, and we're going to link the image to the content. And then click add block. And notice it now appears here. Next, in the left-hand column of section 1, let's add the description for location, where the waterfall is located. Click waterfall location. This time, let's display a label, but we're going to do it inline and keep the formatter as label. Remember, waterfall location is a taxonomy term, and the label is just the name of that taxonomy term. And link label to the referenced entity, which means link it to other content of that term. Click add block. Now, let's do the same thing for hike duration. Again, let's also do an inline label, and we do have an option here to check or uncheck display prefix and suffix. Keep the default as checked. We can come back and change this later. Add block. So now we're showing waterfall location, the hike duration. Let's choose hike difficulty. The same thing. Let's keep the label in line. The formatter is label. Link the label to reference entity. Add the block. Now in section 2, let's add a description of the waterfall. So click add block. Search for description. The waterfall description. We don't need to display the title. Let's keep the label as hidden. The formatter, let's select summary or trimmed. And 600 characters is where we'll trim the description. Click add block. So at this point in time, we've created a layout which has 2 rows or 2 sections, section 1 and section 2. Section 1 has 2 columns split up 50% width. And section 2 is 1 column 100% width. We've added the content as shown here. In section 1, left-hand side, we have the waterfall image field. Section 1, right-hand side, we have the waterfall location, hike duration, hike difficulty. And in section 2, we have the waterfall description field. After you have configured this, click on Save Layout, and our layout has been saved. And we can't really see what it's going to look like until we actually use this waterfall listing view. So to do that, in a new tab, let's go back. You can visit the home page by hovering over the Drupal drop here, right-clicking, and click Open Link in New Tab, which will take us to the home page. Let's click the waterfall listing. And this is a view that is currently showing content rendered in the teaser display mode. What we want to do is we want to change the view itself. One way to do that efficiently is if you go near the top of the view, for example, waterfall location, you'll see a quick edit menu where you can edit the view. So I'm going to choose edit view, quick edit. Another way to do this, and maybe the appropriate way to do this, is going to structure, views, clicking on views, and then find the waterfall listing view and click on edit. Now we are going to edit the page, so make sure the page is selected. And sure enough, here we can see we are showing content of type waterfall, and it's showing this content in teaser format. So if we click on the teaser link next to show content, and render it in teaser, choose waterfall listing display, and then click apply. And if we scroll down, we'll see that sure enough, our waterfalls are now being displayed using the layout builder. This is great. So click on save for the view. And now, in case we need to come back and edit this view, I'm going to open up home in a new tab. And I'm going to click on the waterfall listing. This is fantastic. So now we're showing a list of waterfalls, but this time it's rendered in the waterfall listing display. And the waterfall listing display is actually using a layout. We'll come back, waterfall listing for the waterfall, manage the display, and here's how we can edit the particular fields. One thing we may want to remove is here in the hike duration, we see that the label hike duration minutes also includes 20 minutes. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to edit the fields. I'm going to manage the fields of the waterfall to remove this minutes from the label because it's included in the suffix, and I'm going to put a space in the suffix as well. So follow along with me. Let's go back to the edit layout for waterfall content items. Back at the manage display for the waterfall content type, I'm going to click on manage fields for the waterfall content type. Another way to get here is structure, content types, waterfall, manage fields. And what we're going to do is the hike duration, we're going to get on the label, we're going to get rid of this minutes, and we're going to modify the suffix. Click on edit. In the label field, let's get rid of the minutes. And in the suffix, we need to prepend this with a space. Right now, there's no space before the M in minutes. I'm going to press the space bar one time. So now we have a space. Whoops. So now we have a space before the minutes. So click Save Settings. If we go back to the waterfall listing, if we refresh our page, we're expecting to see this minutes text disappear, and we're expecting to see a space appear between the 0 and the M of 20 minutes. So here we go to refresh the page. Fantastic. Hike duration is now 20 minutes. Let's add the waterfall height. So going back, we need to go to the manage display of the waterfall content type. So structure, content types, waterfall, manage display. We're dealing with the waterfall listing display, so make sure that is selected. Click on Manage Layout. And we are going to add the waterfall height to section 1 right-hand column. So add block and search for height. Again, let's set the label to inline. Keep the formatter as default. And display prefix and suffix, add block. If you want to, you can reorder these as you wish. I'm going to put the waterfall height above the hike duration and below waterfall location. When you've done that, click on Save Layout. If we go back to the waterfall listing page, if I refresh this page, you'll see that, sure enough, the new waterfall height field is being displayed. Now, once again, I'm going to remove this meters from the label, and I'm going to add a space before the M of meters. So again, to do that, I'll go back to manage the waterfall content type. I'm going to manage fields, content types, waterfall, manage fields. I'm looking for the waterfall height meters. I'm going to edit this field. And let's remove meters text. And in the suffix, let's be sure to begin the suffix with a space. So there's one space before the M in meters. Click Save Settings. I'll go back to the waterfall listing, refresh the page. Fantastic. So now we are displaying our waterfall content in this waterfall listing view. We are using the waterfall listing display view mode in our view. In the waterfall listing view, we are showing content. We are showing that content using waterfall listing view mode. And the layout that it's using has 2 sections. The first section has 2 columns, each split up 50-50. And the second section is 1 column, 100% width, and this summary is trimmed to 600 characters. And it does that for all the waterfalls. So fantastic. That's the overview of the Layout Builder. Remember, you have to enable the modules first with Extend. Search for Layout. Make sure Layout Builder, Layout Discovery are enabled. Once those modules are enabled, then you need to manage the display of the content type that you wish to manage the display on. In our case, it's the waterfall listing display. Make sure Use Layout Builder is selected. And when that is, you can manage the display and you can work section by section, adding block by block. So that's the overview of the powerful Layout Builder functionality. Well done on completing this video. Happy learning.